Hey, welcome to Eden. On this podcast, I want to discuss everything vulnerable. Just like Adam and Eve were in the bushes in Genesis, ate from the tree, and God told them that that was a forbidden tree. And once they realized that they ate from a tree of good and evil, they hid inside the bushes. And inside the bushes is where the vulnerability was revealed. Name this channel Welcome to Eden because I want everybody to hide behind the bush. And I want everybody to feel that sense of vulnerability, to be able to face yourself, to heal, to grow, and to receive. The first episode is called Dancing on the Moon. And I renamed this episode Dancing on the Moon because I spoke to me recently. My son had a project at school. It was called Dancing on the Moon. I think a few days prior or a few days after, I had a dream of me and some family members dancing on the moon. Maybe 3 or 4 days after the dream and the project at his school, God had really downloaded a lot inside of me, and I just wanted to come on here and share it with you guys because I know that this can help somebody. I may tell what happened. I just let the Holy Spirit lead me on this one. Sorry about the clearing of the throat, but I wrote this entry and then I'll speak on it after I read it. But it says, I hear Dancing on the Moon song in my head a few times today. And before that, I found a paper of my son's schoolwork called The Moon. The paper explains that the moon is dark and receives its light, the lesser light from Genesis, from the sun. So the paper explains that the moon receives its light from the sun. As I'm writing this, I hear God speak to me and say, that's how dark people receive their light. It's a reflection from the sunlight, your light. They have no light at all. So they charge up in your light, appearing to be a copy image, which is a reflection of who you are. And this is how counterfeits are created. And I said, whew. So I just received this vision of an overlooked, fair-looking woman hanging out with a party girl that has all the superficial looks. She's learning a lot from the fair woman. The superficial woman is learning from the fair woman. But as she's hanging with her and stealing this woman's personality, she also is going after her life, the men in her life, income, the home, the kids, etc. She doesn't fully understand where the light inside the fair woman, fair meaning like plain, because I know that's a topic right now, plain versus I don't know what they call it in other women, but like the more made up women. So fair in the Bible just means like the plain, subtle woman. So it says she doesn't fully understand where the light in the fair woman is coming from, so she can't fully steal it and go off on her own. So she drains the light as much as she can until the fair woman is exhausted and distracted with problems and depression to remain her full self. It's like stealing her batteries from her that are half used up, but she's not really stealing the motherboard. If you know what a motherboard is, it's the brain of a computer or in your phone. So she can steal the batteries that charges the fair woman up, that gets her going, but she can't steal what's up here. So it says that she's stealing the motherboard that holds all the power and information she needs. This is why the devil hates to be exposed. He cannot exist without God. He has no meaning nor purpose without his main power source, which is God. And then God had me looking up negative and positive because he had me down this whole rabbit hole of looking up power. I gotta speak on that on a whole nother video, but I wrote a little bit about it on here, and I wrote the negative to powers, and then I wrote positive and negative, and then I drew some symbols to show the difference. It's like it's Polaris. So positive needs a negative, a yin needs a yang. So just to explain that a little bit. The moon is never destroyed, but it does become fully exposed every rare occasion, which is a full moon. And just like the counterfeit people, Once they are exposed, they just go and start over with someone new to drain them or trick them. The devil appeared in the Bible only a few times that I can name, and once it was when he was the serpent in Genesis, and another time as Satan in Job. So maybe he wasn't the serpent, because me stumbling over that make me question that. But those are the 2 times that I wrote down that I know that the adversary appeared in the Bible. So it says, funny learning this after finding out I was recently betrayed by some people that I love. And it says, God keeps showing me 1:19 on the phone, and right now it's 11:19 p.m. I wrote Ezekiel 11:19 because I was drawn to that scripture. And I said, I will give them, this is God speaking, I will give them a single purpose and put a new spirit in them. I will remove their stubborn hearts and give them obedient hearts. I will give my people hearts that are completely committed to me. And I will give them a new spirit that is faithful to me. And I wrote down some names, mine's included. And I said, I always end up right back here empty with just me and God. He is the only faithful one and trustworthy to me. So, most recently, I opened some doors in my life that should never been opened. I was prepared. That's what I do thank God for every single day, that he literally trained me to be who I am today. I am not the person I used to be 5 years prior. So all the work that God did in me, I literally changed. Like, I'm a whole different being. And if you went through the transformation and if you walk through the wilderness with God, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you don't talk the same. I listen to old Snapchat videos and stuff on my phone sometimes just to see like a glimpse of the past. And I just be like cringy at how I was acting and the things that I would say and how I would look. Because I looked very tired all the time, and my skin was super dry. And I just thought I was so cute, and you know, but of course I was like under the influence back then. So I think that contributed to my thought process. If you weren't of a sober mind, you're gonna think you're so cute or whatever, and really you look tired, like you need rest, and you always on the go, and you need like fluids and hydration, and you need a routine. But I learned all that stuff on a journey with God. So I opened up to some people before in my past, and somebody tried to hurt me with things that I vented about, right? So this is not about them people, okay? It's not about what they did. So I already have forgiven them, you know, and it took a couple days, but it wasn't that long because I know the power of forgiveness, and I know the power of forgiveness is more about us forgiving than the person that you're forgiving. That's how you gain peace, and that's important because God promises us peace. So if he promised you peace and you don't do the things that brings the peace to you, faith without works is dead. So if you have faith that God give you peace, you also have to work towards that peace. So every time you come to a crossroad to make a decision of how you're going to react to certain situations that may hurt your feelings or make you mad or make you irritated, after you choose wrong, you disrupt your own peace. But if you let it go and you forgive, it gives you back your peace. So that happened, and it's not about them. It's about the lesson that I took from this. One, you have to be careful of, I'm going to call them God flags and not red flags. I'm going to call them God flags. You have to be, I'm going to call them Satan flags. You have to be careful of people who show you Satan red flags. Like, you have to be careful of that. And look for the God flags in people. That's how you judge people by their fruit. So measure you up where you at on your walk with God, and you can judge them off the fruit that you produce. So if you stop drinking or smoking or fornicating and you're hanging around a bunch of people who's doing that, you may think you're strong enough to not fall in the enemy's traps. But it's other ways he will trap you, right? He can make it look like you did something. He can make you get upset, like what is it called? Impatient with God. So if you're waiting on God to do something in your life, the devil can make you impatient. And he can really make you just throw the whole flag in and just say, I don't care no more. I just don't want to walk this walk anymore. It's too hard, because you're going to put yourself back in the environment of things that you've been doing for however old you are, or when you started the journey, if you was 25 or 26, you did stuff for 26 years, most likely. So it takes a long time to undo 20 something years of pain, trauma, wrongdoings, just doing whatever you want to do, making the choices that you always wanted to make, and kind of like letting God clean you out. So your appetite is going to be different, you know, your wants and your needs and everything is going to change, and it's going to be a major shift. Those transition phases, when each one of those things are getting changed, those are hard times. It's called spiritual warfare. It will wear you out, because your mind can exhaust you, and your mind is going to be every which way, turned upside down, flip side in, all of these things, because you have to go through the process in order for God to birth something new inside of you, in order for you to catch the revelation of what he's doing too, because God can keep trying to change you over and over and over again, and you could be on the path, and once you get knocked back down, the reason why you're getting knocked down is because you're not learning the lesson that the situation that was produced is supposed to teach you. So once you pass the test, you go to the next level. It's like a video game. So one thing about me, I used to be a video gamer. If you are not a video gamer, I'm not saying pick up a bad habit or nothing like that. Maybe try games on your phone. But if you're not like a competitive person and you don't like to win, it's going to be hard for you on this journey, because you're going to constantly keep giving up more than you want to win. So you want God to win. That's how I look at it. Like, I'm on God's team. I have on his jersey. God is my coach. He's tapping me in the game. I'm a starter. Okay. I'm not on the bench. I'm a starter. I'm on the field. So I'm going to do everything that God tells me to do on the field so that we can win the game. I'm trying to win for God. So yes, you're going to get knocked down. Yes, you're going to get jammed fingers. I got up in basketball. Yes, you're going to spike a ball and your wrist is going to hurt. You're going to get injured, but you're going to get back up. You're going to put bandage up. You're going to take some Tylenol. You're going to lay down. You're going to rest. That's important. And you're going to get back out there. And you're going to do it again. And you're going to be the best player, the best player, the best player. And they're going to be rooting for you on the other side, calling you the MVP. Don't worry about the opposite team's cheerleaders that's booing you. Okay, that's the adversary and his little minions. Okay, what happened to me was I didn't get away from God. That's why I said I was happy I was trained up, right? But I was at a standstill for too long. I got too comfortable. You cannot stay on the same level for too long. I just learned that. And I got bored, I believe. And I put myself around people and trusted them, because they're too on other spiritual journeys. They're just not on the same one I'm on. So I learned a real valuable lesson. And me just not studying every single day, and me not catching a word, or like going to God, completely going to God in all the ways that I know he speaks to me, and fact checking stuff. I was just cozying on my own way, doing what I want to do. But I just kept justifying my behavior because I wasn't doing anything wrong per se. So as long as I'm not drinking, smoking, and not smoking, but drinking and all the sins of the Bible, gossiping, I'm not killing anybody, you know, I'm doing a Kamala Harris. Long as I'm not doing all of that. That is so funny. But I just don't want to get lost off track. But I placed myself in a situation and God pulled me out. That's why the scripture from Jeremiah 11, it wasn't speaking to the person who did something to me, it was speaking to me. It said I would give a single purpose and put a new spirit in them. So I'm the one with the purpose. God is going to give me a single purpose and put a new spirit in me, meaning like I'm being born again, because I came back to God. I'm back with God. So every time I feel like I strayed away a little bit, come back, I feel like I'm being reborn again. He's re-cleansing me, because I might have picked up some things being that far away from him for that time. And it said, there's stubborn hearts. I was stubborn. I made up a lot of excuses why I wasn't reading my Bible, why I wasn't praying as much, and why I don't listen to gospel music anymore and stuff like that. I did, but just very so often. And then it says, and give them obedient hearts. So God is whipping me back to my obedience. That's why I'm making this video, because this is the beginning. Well, me taking these notes is the beginning, then the video. And I will give my people hearts that are completely committed to me, in which I do dedicate my life to the Lord. And for the last few days, I've been telling him that. I just been saying, I'm back. And I kind of feel the angels celebrating that, you know, I'm back on my path. So it said, I would give them a new spirit that is faithful to me. So committed and being faithful to God. Because, you know, Jesus is my first husband. And, well, he's my current husband, but my first. And as long as I learn to submit to the Lord, I would learn how to submit in marriage in real life, right? I wanted to make sure I'm covering everything. But basically, when you stray away from God, he has a way to bring you back. And, oh, that's what I wanted to talk about too, before I get off here real quick. It was about birth and counterfeits, and the part about dancing on the moon. So like, God showed me in a dream an abundance coming, and the people that were dancing on the moon, I think they're the people that received the abundance. When he was speaking about dancing on the moon, you have to be separated from people who are not walking the same walk as you, right? And it's going to draft back to me feeling betrayed. I was hanging out with people who are on spiritual journeys. That's why we're all on the moon. But when the money came to the people on the moon, I didn't get the money that they were receiving. But I thought about going out there to catch the money. And then I sat back like, no, this is not my time. I'm going to let them have their time. You don't have to keep up with people. You don't have to hang out with the wrong people. God is going to bless you in your time. And I had a knowing that that was coming. I had a knowing that my time was coming. But I was sitting back, still happy in my heart that they were receiving, right? But they were going before me. So I was just so happy that they were receiving. So I noticed that, and these are people who I typically do not hang around, but they're family. But I was genuinely happy for them. Oh, the counterfeit. So like, God was talking to me about these type of people. This is a little sensitive to say, because I don't like to be controversial. That's my problem. But people will hang around you to mimic everything you are, everything that you do, how you speak, how you wash your clothes, what perfume you have on, what type of shoes you buying from the store. They listen to you talk on the phone to certain people. They pick up your lingo. Like, they are literally becoming you. But the thing that they don't have is your brain. They don't have, I would say, the blueprint. Because if God, say for instance, God gave you a blueprint that you're supposed to follow, which is us with a map going through the wilderness and crossing the Jordan River. That's how you could look at the blueprint of what God has given you to get you where you need to be, to your promised land. Look, it's not the same as everybody else's. So you're following your own blueprint that God gave to you to get through the wilderness, to cross the Jordan River, to get to the promised land, right? But it's going to be people trying to journey along with you, just like Adam's cousin was, it was Adam's cousin. He was hanging or traveling with Adam and Sarah. And God told Adam at some point, like, you got to leave him behind. You have to just go the rest of the journey by yourself. That was like a real hard thing for me throughout this process. Like letting people go who really haven't wronged me, just because the choices that they make in their lifestyles, it was affecting me. So I have to like let them go, not because they did anything to me, but their lifestyles do not match up with the path that I'm on. And I thought that I can like trick God, I guess, and stay around these people. And I couldn't, because I was seeing how every time, this is the thing, this is the raw truth. When you hang around people who do not believe in the same God as you, you give them an opportunity to attack you in ways, sometimes because they have no nobody convicting them. Like, God convicts us. He's like our real father. So he will punish us and go quiet on us, and y'all know how that feels. Other people who don't have the same father as you don't feel that same conviction. So whenever they come to a crossroads and think to cross you, like Judas did Jesus, they're gonna go for the shot every time. And it's like they can justify it. Whether they say they don't believe in God, they can justify it to say, oh, I backslided, or they can justify it. However, it can be justified, you know. That's what I'm saying when I was saying, like, I didn't pay attention to red flags. Then there's a thing of God flags and Satan flags, because God flags is the things, the fruits of the spirit, and the things that God is calling you to do that's going to set you apart. Satan has his people that just do whatever they want to do. You know, that's why they was just fighting for so much freedom. But it contradicted everything in the Bible that God told us to do. Like, you're not supposed to get abortions. But I can say, oh, I do need to get abortion because I was fornicating. Now I can justify, you know, I can justify my like what I'm doing. I don't want to call it a behavior because these are people's real life, but me just going against that and just agreeing against everything that God say. Like, I am a human being. I am not as powerful as God, right? So when I think about how perfect Jesus was, it stresses me out because I strive to be good and great, but I know I'm never going to measure up to Jesus, right? But whatever rewards come from me being a well-behaved human being, I want to receive that. I want to win. I want to make God proud of me. Every time, that's what I check with God. Like, am I making you proud? Am I doing enough? Like, and sometimes if I feel conviction and God is like, no, or he don't answer me at all, I can kind of know. Sometimes when God get quiet, you already know the answer. So I just want to make God proud of me. If I look at him like a real father figure, then it's important to me to make my dad proud of me. And that's how I operate through this path. This is what gets me up every morning. This is what keeps me sane. This is what keeps me from doing wrong. So I received grace through what I just went through because God knew that I did not know. It was just like, if when you know better and you being put back in a situation, you should be worried, because God can let Satan have his way with you because you know better. But I clearly didn't really fully know better. So I feel like God gave me grace through what I just been through because it was to teach me a lesson. I'm glad I experienced it on this low level, because I can get out in the real world and start a career or a business or something and learn that at the very peak of... I'm sorry, somebody had called and interrupted the video, but what I was going to say is you can reach your peak and then it can be a fall that comes after that. And it's worse of a fall when you fall from so high up, instead of learning a lesson early on and it not coming up later on in life when you are so super successful in just whatever you do, being a mom or a career or anything. So you want to kind of learn the lessons before you get to a high peak in life. You want to learn it when you don't really have too much to lose. So that concludes my first episode of my podcast. I thank you all for listening, and I love you with the love of Christ, and I pray blessings and clarity over your lives, you know, and I pray you come back for episode 2. Bye.